This painting didn't go wrong all at once. It drifted. And I didn't recognize it until I changed how I was actually evaluating it. Most paintings don't fail because of one big mistake. They drift quietly while you're busy making reasonable decisions during the painting process. Now, this video is not about how to paint a portrait. It's about how I recognize when a painting is losing direction and the steps I take to regain control before it goes too far. This is very early in the process. At this stage, I am not refining detail. I'm placing the major features accurately enough to support the likeness later. I'm also thinking ahead about background shapes and contrast, but nothing is being solved yet. These reference points aren't precious at this point. They're temporary anchors that keep everything else honest later, as long as you don't bury them and then forget to reestablish them. The reality is, at this point, nothing looks impressive, and that is 100% intentional. This image actually shows where the drift had already occurred. I want to be very clear here. Nothing catastrophic had happened up to this point. How I got to this point is paint layers covered earlier reference points, and I stayed in a painting distance longer than I should have. Up close, my attention was on marks and surface decisions, things like edges, highlights, texture, and how the paint was actually behaving while it was being sprayed. I was also undecided about whether I wanted to use subtractive techniques for the highlights, so I also tested that out with an electric eraser. But that decision came after the proportion shift was already there. The proportion issues resulted from evaluating the painting too closely for too long. And I have talked about this in previous videos. When you are at painting distance, right up close, directly in front of your artwork, you're not going to notice little things that need adjustment or correction as easily as you will if you step back 5 to 10 feet and view your work from a distance or viewing distance. At distance, things that are slightly off become a lot more apparent than they are when you're right up next to your work. And at this stage, I hadn't recognized the problem yet, but the painting was already off. So when I realized the issue, that moment wasn't about stopping. It was about changing how I evaluated what I was seeing. At this stage, the only meaningful question was whether the proportions and the relationships were still supporting the likeness. Sometimes that means physically stepping back, like I just mentioned, or taking a short break. Not to avoid the problem, but to see it more clearly. And when I step back, that's when the issues that I had with this particular panel became very obvious. So my decision to repair the problem was a two-pronged approach, using an electric eraser and my airbrush. I wound up erasing areas that were clearly off, and sometimes I erased a little too much. So then I used paint to bring those areas back where they needed to be. My decision to use the eraser here was based on the fact that there weren't subtle paint layers underneath yet. So at this stage, removing information was clean and very predictable. If this had been later on in the painting process, when those subtle underlying layers were present, that same approach could be catastrophic. Alternatively, using white paint instead of the eraser to make these corrections would have contaminated a larger area with overspray that would also ultimately require correction. So once the correct proportion had been restored, I could resume my normal painting process. And this was the actual reference image I was working from. I wasn't trying to copy this. It's heavily stylized with extreme lighting and color grading. I was using the reference more as a diagnostic tool as opposed to a template. So I'm using the reference image to constantly check whether the relationships still read as the same person during this entire process. I'm using the reference image to judge the likeness in my painting. And here's the finished piece. Again, this isn't identical to the reference, and it was never meant to be, but the likeness reads. There were still minor corrections I encountered later. The nose, for example, needed adjustment, and the hair took more work than I really anticipated, but those were specific problems. The painting was no longer drifting. And that's the real difference that experience makes. And the only way that you can get that experience is to continue painting, continue practicing. We're not trying to avoid mistakes here, but recognizing when your evaluation criteria needs to change is a very important part of being an airbrush artist. Once the proportion is back under control, everything else becomes very easily manageable. And that applies to any subject. I'm not just talking about portraits here. I apply these same principles to everything that I paint. So the next time that something feels off in a painting, don't rush to fix it. Change how you're evaluating it first and see what becomes obvious in your eyes. That's the real lesson behind this video. I hope all of that makes sense. I hope you got something out of this. I'm Trevor with Wicked Art Studio. I will see you next time.